So, these storms are being engineered by your elite. And not only that, the problem is power, right? So many people lost power. So what they did in the media is they pumped out people saying like, oh, they needed more power in their Tesla cars so they could escape the storm. Right? What they're doing is they're setting up the stage. Like, the problem is there's no power. And along comes Solar and Company, where they are going to be your saviors. What they really do is blocking you from the infinite creator. They're taking energy from the cosmos, which is the sun, taking it down here, putting their little mirrors, creating what they want, and then beaming it back to the earth, these little solar farms. You know? Don't you guys remember the story when Obama was shutting down all the coal companies in Virginia? They're shutting the coal industry down. Or at least they were trying to. So yeah, your problem is, let's geoengineer the storms. Let's create them. The problem is people don't have power. So let's test market it, see where everybody goes on that one. And then we'll design a company, issue some patents out there, put some mirrors up in space, harness what we want, invert the energy from the cosmos, which is the creator, and then beam it back to the earth, so that you don't know your spirituality and your gifts, your psychic powers, right? It's problem, solution, order out of chaos. That's your Illuminati. That's your elite. Also, I want to talk to the TIs and say that the implants are designed for, it's an emotion chip. That's what they design. So if you have an implant in you and they turn it on and off and all that stuff, that's an emotion chip. And then going back to the gang stalking situation, I remember my gang stalker, she mentioned to me briefly how the elite want to keep the infrastructure intact. And that makes sense to me because there's conflicting reports about how the storm wasn't as severe. You know, neighbors were telling other neighbors, hey, your house is okay, only a couple trees went down. Well, that makes sense now because my gang stalker, she said that the elite just want to keep the structure, you know. And a thing about these storms and all these quote-unquote incidents around the world, like the taking down of statues, a lot of these people are gang stalkers and they're paid by the elite to act out. You know, there are little clips and videos of people saying like, I got a tattoo from George Soros. Well, that's very true. There are people who are TIs and they're recording and they're talking to their gang stalkers saying, you know, what is it? What do you gain from this? You know, and they say, well, we get gift cards. We get gift cards from the local municipalities. Well, guess where the money comes from? The Federal Reserve. Comes from the elite. It trickles downward, right? Because they have a pyramid structure. That's what they're doing, people. These implants that they have illegally put into people are torture devices. where they attack your biorhythm, your chakra system, your pineal gland, everything. And DARPA goes ahead and just, you know, they push their little buttons or whatever and torture you with it. It goes back to the Nazis, World War II. MK Ultra never went away, it just went underground and they enhanced it with technology. And if you look deeper into their souls, you'll find out that they are reptilian based. And I know that society protects the elite. Because I find out that most of the people around there, they're anti-God. And they go along to get along because they don't want to be tortured either. Because they have astral sex with this technology, people. And it's one way to, you know, really hurt people. It's very damaging. Because suppose, you know, one of the parties doesn't, quote unquote, give the right amount of love. Then they're hurt even more. They're hypocrites. Because what is the definition of love? My definition of love is you don't go around and you let things go natural. You don't torture someone to death. See, I think in my hunches is that they're after the love chakra, but they're having a hard time conquering it because it's based on a lie. If you torture someone long enough, you really do see the other party's true colors. I don't know. Things should be natural. But they don't want things to be natural, because if it's natural, that means that you have people who gain their natural talents. Because everybody's born with natural psychic abilities. And they want to harness that and control it. Because they've been doing it for thousands of years. And people just hand it over. The way they're hurting people is through these chemtrails. Everybody's infected with chemtrailing. And it's also in the food. And then if you're a TI, you get, you know, 3 times the whammy. You get chemtrailed, implanted, and then you get directed energy weapons. So, anyways, going back to this chart. The infinite creator, the sun, they're using mirrors, or they're doing things to the sun, taking it down here, harnessing what they want, and then beaming it back to Earth, and creating a world that's artificial. I'll be back.